what? Hold on just a sec. Some junk on the lens I can't get off. Sorry about that. So today I'm going to be demonstrating a really a 9-year-old machine that I saved around 3 to 5 days ago. This week has been a really cray week. This week has been a really crazy week. Monday, school shut down early. Tuesday, classes started at 10. School ran through 3:20. Wednesday, canceled. Thursday, normal day. Friday, which is today, normal day. And this happens to be I'm not sure what number day it is. My gosh. So back to the main thing. I'm going to be demonstrating an old 9-year-old machine, showing off a dillion million bajillion of its features. LOL. And such. So let's get started. Okay, so this is my really old machine. This came from my grandpa. I have no clue about the back history of this. Either the machine broke and somebody gave it to grandpa and grandpa gave it to me, or grandpa had it and it broke, then he gave it to me. Or it was my grandma's computer, then she gave it to my grandpa, then he gave it to me. Or maybe it was my grandma Paula's computer, and then it was my grandma's, and then it was my grandpa's, and now it's mine. I have no clue about the back history of this machine. All I know is it came from my grandpa, and it works right now. You'll notice something. This computer is spread out all over the floor. Why? This power supply. It's an old power supply. Good 4-year-old thing. Pretty modern for its time. Is it seriously taking my power supply as a face? LOL. Oh my gosh. This camera is taking a power supply as a face. Camera, this is not a face. This is a Cooler Master power supply. Okay, back to the subject. Okay, so here's a quick story about this machine. My grandpa gave this machine to me whenever he brought over a bunch of stuff. And this machine didn't work. I eventually narrowed it down to the power supply, or just took a random guess at it. And eventually, yep, power supply. Through my testing, I also tested both IDE cables connecting the CD-ROM and hard drive. Both were dead. So I'm using one IDE cable from my grandma's machine over here, and another IDE cable pulled from a Sony CD-ROM drive box. And both of those work. Also, one of the CD-ROM drives in this system had failed. The CD-ROM drives in the system, the first one was made in October 2000. The second one, I think it was April or May, maybe March 2003. If I just simply told you one CD-ROM drive was made in 2000, the other one was made in 2003, one failed, it would be pretty obvious to which one was surviving. And I replaced it with the unknown CD-ROM drive, which is currently failing, but it still works. But I wouldn't trust it. So here are the components of this machine. First thing we have is oh, come on, camera. This thing will focus here. So the first thing over here is sorry about that, is a VIA PLE01 motherboard. This is original to the machine, and I have 150, and there's also 152 megabytes of RAM in this machine. One stick is some Kingston Value RAM. And these do not take ordinary RAM sticks. These actually have a proprietary socket which you can only use certain RAM sticks with. And the second component on this motherboard is a VIA C3 processor. Now, how did VIA somehow get a hold? Now, if you're wondering if C3 was Cyrix 3, yes, you're correct. Now, that probably leaves you wondering, how did VIA get a hold of Cyrix? Read the Wikipedia article on that next. I also have the third thing on this motherboard is a US Robotics 56K fax / internet modem. I'm not sure what. And the fourth thing on here is a compact 10/100 megabit per second Ethernet card, which is currently connected right now. As you can see, that gray cable is the Ethernet cable running to our Verizon router. Now, come on. Now, it just happens that this camera, not this camera, now it just happens that the power supply I'm using just happens to have a tape-on extra 4-pin connector. I was able to untape that connector and use only 20 pins of this motherboard connector. Sorry about this. And connect up to this motherboard. Works just fine. Now, our VIA C3 processor is crammed under this heatsink, which I am fixing to show. Oh, sorry about that. My gosh, this camera. Make that this tripod. LOL. Why do things not work on camera? That always happens, especially with Danoct1. Check out his channel. It's about viruses and everything of that sorts. The the VIA C3 CPU is located under this heatsink, which is and that heatsink is located under this big giant fan right here. Sorry about that focus on my finger. Sorry about that. And this camera, not camera, and I changed the thermal paste on this CPU before I brought this machine back to life, and it works really well. Bridge clip connector, which is a pain in the to remove, and a little bit more in the pain of the to get back on. And Arctic Silver 5 is probably the best CPU thermal paste I have ever used. Smashes Intel's stock stuff. Erases the current thermal paste to oblivion and back, which means it totally smashes the temperatures on that other thermal paste. I'm not sure what the temperatures were like on that other thermal paste because I changed the thermal paste on the CPU before I brought this machine back to life. And guess what? This computer works. So I'm gonna go put this big fan back on this tiny heatsink. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering why I have a big fan on a tiny heatsink, it's because the original fan in this machine failed. Like, it still spins, but either the bearings are currently failing or the bearings have failed. Though it still spins. Okay. Okay, next components, please. We have a Western Digital WD-800 hard drive, 80 gig drive, IDE as you expect. Next, and a Mitsubishi, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, floppy drive. Generic from the top, standard, IDE, it works. Next, 2 CD-ROM drives. One's failing and it has an unknown name, and the other one is I think it's an HP. Yeah, that's an HP drive. HP. I think DVD Writer 300i. Still works. Next, power supply. I think this is a 400 watt power supply. It's a Cooler Master I said earlier in the video. It works, has a fan, stays cool, doesn't quit out on me. Next, finally, this case. It appears that the system was originally built by Microtel Computer Systems. VSC3 processor logo on there. Nice power button. I didn't connect the power light and hard disk indicator lights since I didn't even bother to, so I'm going to boot this system up and let you guys see and hear this system booting up. Now I will shut it down before it starts booting the operating system because before it starts booting the operating system. So 3, 2, 1, go. Floppy drive seat test. Sorry about that, I accidentally pressed the power button twice. And that beep was my system. Somehow it outputs its beeps through the audio, through the Sound Blaster system, audio system, using an HP monitor with this thing. Generic Microsoft keyboard. Oh my gosh, I hate this darn focus. Focus on something else, Cam. Okay, now I'm going to boot this machine up and head into the BIOS. VSC3 800A. Wait, 800 megahertz? Whatever. But this machine has 152 megs of RAM, and it also has, and the processor in here is an 800 megahertz processor. Okay. First of all, I'm just gonna load standard defaults. Yes, I want to load those. Now let's reconfigure this BIOS. You can see we have 3 IDE drives. Drive A, it supports Drive A and Drive B. So we can have 2 floppy drives in this system. Yay. I only have 1 installed. Halt on all errors. I'm actually going to make that all but diskette, which means halt on all errors except for the floppy drive. Video, EJ, VGA, color. So, I'm going to go through here and auto detect all these hard drives. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now for our floppy drive, Drive A, we have none, 360K, 5 1/4 inches, 1.2 meg, 5 1/4 inches, 720K, 3 1/2 inches, 1.44 megs, 3 1/2 inches, 2.88 megs, 3 1/2 inches. I'm just going to leave that at 1.44 megs, 3 1/2 inches. Same thing for Drive B. Video, EJ, VJ. We also have CGA 40, CGA 80, and mono. Yay. I'm going to leave that as is. Halt on all errors. Nope. I want all but diskette. We also have all errors, no errors, all but keyboard, all but diskette, all but disk, which is diskette, keyboard. I'm going to leave that as all but diskette. Oh, love this system. We have 600. Sorry about that. We have 640 kilobytes base memory, 154,624 kilobytes extended memory, for a total memory of 155,648 kilobytes. Goodbye. Sorry about that. Advanced BIOS features. Antivirus protection. Enabled or disabled. Recovery Genius. Same thing. CPU L1 cache. Exact same thing. Exact same thing for L2. Same thing for quick power on self-test. Now first boot device, we can choose from floppy, LS120, HDD0, SCSI, CD-ROM, HDD1, HDD2, HDD3, ZIP100, LAN, or straight up disable that boot option. I'm going to have that as HDD0. I don't know. Second boot device, CD-ROM. Third boot device, floppy. Boot other device, enabled, disabled. Swap floppy drive, enabled, disabled. Boot up floppy seek, enabled, disabled. Boot up non-logs, status, on, off. Which is practically the exact same thing as enable and disable. Gate A2O option, normal or fast. I'll set that to fast. Typematic rate setting, disabled or enabled. Next, security option, set or system. OS select for DRAM 64 megs. Leave that as is. HDD smart capability, enable, disabled. Let's keep that enabled. Report no floppy disk drive for Windows. Disabling that. Video BIOS shadow, enabled. Next, DRAM timing settings. Press enter. Auto configuration, standard. CIS latency, 3. We have 3, 2, or auto. Bank interleave, enabled or disabled. DRAM drive control, auto or manual. Next, AGP function settings. Frame buffer size, 8 megabytes. AGP aperture size, 128 megabytes. AGP master 1WS write, enabled, and same thing except it's read, enabled. For here, frame buffer size, we have 2 megs, 4 megs, or 8 megs. AGP aperture size, 128 megabytes, 64 megs, 32 megs, 16 megs, 8 megs, and 4 megs. AGP master 1WS write, enabled, disabled. And exact same thing. Oh my gosh, sorry about this focus. AGP master 1WS read, exact same thing as the previous one. In order queue, we have 4 level or 1 level. P2C slash C2P concurrency, enabled or disabled. IO recovery time, enabled or disabled. I want that enabled. CPU to PCI post write, enabled, disabled. CPU to PCI dynamic burst, enabled or disabled. I want that enabled, please. PCI delay transaction, we have enabled or disabled. Let's keep that enabled. Memory parity or slash ECC check, I want that enabled. System BIOS cacheable, enabled, disabled. Video RAM cacheable, cacheable, enabled or disabled. Memory hole. Hold on, guys. Yes, Dad? Sorry about that. I'm gonna need to go. I need to take a shower and get that mess through with. I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm now ready for bed and let's continue this. Okay, system BIOS cacheable, enabled, disabled, enabled. Video RAM cacheable, yeah. Memory hole, we can either disable that or have a memory leak ranging anywhere between 15 and 16 megabytes. Integrated peripherals, on-chip IDE function, press enter. On-chip IDE channel 0, that enables the first IDE channel. On-chip IDE channel 1, that enables the first IDE channel. Primary master, enables the Audemon primary master. We can also have primary slave, secondary master, or secondary slave. For primary master, we can have that auto, mode 1, mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, mode 4. Oh, hold on. On-chip IDE channel 0, disabled and enabled. Exact same thing for IDE channel 1. And we have for primary master, we have auto, mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, and mode 4. Exact same thing for 2, for primary slave, secondary master, and secondary slave. Okay, primary master UDMA, disabled or auto. Disabled or auto for primary slave, and same goes for the other two. IDE 32-bit transfer mode, I want that enabled, and that enables 32-bit transfer mode between across the entire IDE interface system. IDE HDD block mode. That technically blocks hard drives on the IDE system. So if it detects a hard drive, it gets blocked. IDE prefetch mode. Not exactly sure what that's about, but whatever. On-chip SIO function. Onboard floppy disk drive function. I want that enabled. Onboard serial port 1 and 2? What? We cannot either go disabled 3F8/IR with an IRQ of 4, 2F8 with an IRQ of 3, 3E8 with an IRQ of 4, or 2E8 with an IRQ of 3. Or we can just move that to auto. Next. Exact same thing for onboard serial port 2. UART2 mode. We can either have that normal or HPSIR or ASKIR. Next. And I have no clue what that means. Onboard parallel port. We can either have that 3BC IRQ7, 378 IRQ7, or 278 IRQ5. We'll leave that as is. Onboard parallel mode, SPP, EPP, or ECP, or we can have that ECP, EPP. Next. On-chip device function. Next. On-chip sound function. My gosh, we are three menu levels in. AC97 sound device, auto or disabled. Sound Blaster, disabled, enabled. I want that enabled. Sound Blaster IO base address, 220H, 240H, 260H, or 280H. Now you can only access settings beyond AC97 sound device and Sound Blaster only after you enable Sound Blaster. SB IRQ select, we can have an IRQ of 5, IRQ of 7, an IRQ of 9, or an IRQ of 10. DMA select, DMA 0, DMA 1, DMA 2, DMA 3. MPU 401, enable disabled. MPU 401 IO address, 300 303H, 300 313H, 310 313H, 320 323H, or we can have 330 and 333H. Leave it. Game port 200-207H, enabled. Next. USB host controller, enabled. USB keyboard support. I want that enabled, please. And that's also a disabled, enabled question. Same goes for USB host controller. AC97 modem device, auto or disabled. And we also have an initiate display first, PCI slot or AGP. I want that staying at PCI. Power management setup, ACPI function, enabled, disabled. Power management, press enter. HD, power management, user defined, minimum saving or maximum saving. HDD power down, disabled. Doze mode, disabled. Suspend mode, disabled. PM control by APM, yes, I have no clue what that means. Video off option, always off. Video off method, vertical horizontal sync plus blank screen, please. Modem use IRQ. 3. We can either have that NA 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Power management, press enter. And HDD power down. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 15 minutes. Oh my gosh. Doze mode, for anywhere from 1 minute to an hour. Suspend mode, 1 minute to, again, 1 hour. Next. That's a yes/no question. Always off. We can either have video off option, always off, or always on. Next, power button function, instant off, which means I can just shut the thing down as soon as I press the power button during the power on self-test. Wake up events, press enter. I want VJ to be off, LPT and COM, which is communications, I want that to none. HDD, hard disk drive and floppy disk drive, no. PCI master, Wake up on ring LAN, no. Wake up on PCI PME, no. Wake up on RTC alarm, no. Now if you enable wake up on RTC alarm, you can actually set that, like date of month alarm. I want date of month. Like, I want, say that to be the 23rd. And I want it to be 22, 56, 30. Boom, you have an alarm set. I'm just gonna clear that. I'm just gonna go ahead and zero these values. Now, if you're hearing a fan whirring in the background, that's the CPU fan on this system. Disabled. IRQ's activity. Primary INTR. Nope. That's an on-off question. IRQ3, COM2. That's a disabled-enabled question. In fact, all of these are disabled-enabled questions. I'm just gonna completely turn that off. Goodbye. Get out of here. My gosh. PNP, plug and play or PCI configurations. I have a plug and play OS installed. Keep that disabled. That's a disabled enabled question. That's a yes/no question. That's a manual or auto ESCD question. I'm going to set that to auto later on. IRQ resources. All of this stuff is either PCI ISA PNP or Legacy ISA, and that's assigned to. That's across that entire whole page. Exact same thing for DMA resources. Auto. PCI VJ Palette Snoop. Disabled and enabled question. Assign IRQ for VJ. Same thing. Assign IRQ for USB. Exact same thing again. PC health status. That's just our PC health stats. Want that on. And in here we can either choose to show the PC health in post, which stands for power on self-test. Again, another disabled enabled question. Miscellaneous control. VSC3 clock ratio. We can either have that default, X3, X3.5, X4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and we can go all the way up to a 16 times multiplier. Auto detect, DIMM/PCI clock, enabled disabled question. Spread spectrum, exact same thing. Now we can change our host clock all the way up to 166. And DRAM clock at next boot, either 133 megahertz or 100 megahertz. I'm going to save and exit the setup and wait on this thing to boot. Sorry about that focus there. Hate that issue. There goes the floppy drive. And smart capability is enabled. Displays are always, Windows always does this for some reason. Then it hangs for a little bit and loads the Windows kernel and starts booting Windows. actually has a pretty speedy boot time. Just pretty good with games. Treats them nicely. Let's log on to the boss. Now this used to be somebody else's machine, and as far as I can tell, this was either a lawyer's machine or an IT technician's machine, or it was both ways. So either it was a lawyer's machine, then it was an IT technician's machine, or it was an IT tech's machine, then it was a lawyer's machine. I have no clue. Again, as I've already said, I have no clue about the backstory of this machine. Unmute audio. Get out of here. Now, this thing actually treats games pretty nicely. File. Delete that. And if anybody is wondering if I'm gonna play pinball, you have. That's a yes. Starting now. F4. F4 for full screen. Just turn that down. This thing actually has a pretty nice CPU, and it's pretty speedy for its time. I have no clue about the backstory of this machine, but Internet Explorer is horrible on this thing. Like, completely horrible. Alt-net. Next. Boom! 75,000 points for a skill shot. Weapons upgraded. Oh, black hole, 20,000 points. Ooh, dang, that was risky. And I've actually gotten stuck in a wormhole loop. Rarely happens, but it does happen. Almost got stuck in one. But eventually I get out of the wormhole loops. But pinball works really well with this thing. Wormhole loop! I am now in a wormhole loop. And I just got out of one. I think it only happens with my upgraded weapons. Oh my gosh, I almost got stuck in another one. The second one in a row. Ooh. My gosh. And I've actually gotten stuck in a wormhole loop with this lower wormhole right here. This is ball 2, if you're wondering. Field multiplier 2x. Lucky. And I just sealed off that other lane. Lucky! And I lost it. Wait, was that a replay ball? That was literally a replay ball. I think I just smashed my dad's high score on this, only on the second ball. Shoot. No. Oh. Good thing for redeploys. You just gotta love the music. Let's get some action in this game. Hyperspace bonus! Oh my gosh. And this is just going to be around the pinball. Just one round of pinball. I've already came close to smashing my dad's old high score on this thing, which was set today. I dadgummit. Opened another wormhole, my gosh. I am so good at this game. Boom! Weapons upgraded. Make that engine upgraded. $1.6 million. Shoot. High score! Oh! I just smashed it. Wait, that's not acknowledging my studios. Hey, computer. Yeah! Smash that old score! Oh! And for some reason, that happens to my desktop whenever I get out of pinball. So I have to go into properties, and I have to click OK. And then I'm back to normal. Ooh, 841. 841. Probably making good time here. I still need to. Oh shoot, guys! I gotta stop recording here. My battery's running low and it's about to die. Hope you like my video. Sorry about that. Hope you like my video. See you guys later. Peace out. Goodbye. Peace out, guys. Peace out.